off. We will bring the lighting back to normal because the spooky moment is over. And we're joined by Lisa Costello, Radio 4 newsreader and continuity announcer. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Adam.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing quite well. How are you doing?
Yes. Do you have any hints for how to talk for a very long time?
Just take it nice and steady. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes. And water rather
Water.
than... Although Tristan did bring me this cup of coffee, which is doing wonders for my energy levels. So I've built this as a shipping forecast masterclass. What time is the actual shipping forecast on?
So tonight's shipping forecast, which is the main big beast.
Yeah.
It's the long one that you get, the full shipping bulletin, which includes all the shipping areas. And that will happen at 0048.
Okay. I think the plan is we're going to tune into it and listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
But in advance, I want you to give us a little bit of a masterclass.
So,
deconstruct it for us.
Here I have in my hand this evening's shipping forecast, and this one is marked Adam.
Okay.
Right, so that's for you.
Great.
So shall we just pass that
Yeah, hand it
along?
over. Hand it over.
Okay. So there we go.
Right.
That's for
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
So there's 7 sheets of deep joy there for you.
Wow, it's 7 pages.
So
wow.
that's how we get it. We might have
I'm getting my pen out so I can annotate it.
10 minutes or so to analyse it and look at it and decide where the pauses need to go. It is a big beast. It has all the, things that you would expect it to have. But because it's the long forecast, it has the area forecast, the general synopsis. It then has the areas, and then you have the coastal reports and the inshore waters. So it has the full 3 parts of the full shipping bulletin. Whereas at some points of the day, you would only get the shipping forecast, which is the first part.
Yes, I hadn't realised the difference between the different bits.
There is a difference, but twice a day you do get the full shipping bulletin, but only once a day do you get the shipping area of Trafalgar broadcast.
Right.
That only goes at this very special time at 0048. So worth doing. So taking you through it, you can see from the top there's a lot of stuff about where it's issued from, issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. You going to give that a go?
Yeah. Good morning, and now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. And do you say 0015 or midnight 15?
0015.
Of course you do. 0015 on Friday the 14th of November 2025.
The man's a natural. The man is a natural. Okay.
25 years of broadcasting.
But it is all those sort of niceties. You wouldn't know that it was 00.
Yeah, even though I've heard it a million times. You're like, oh, yeah, which is it? Yeah.
So if you go through it, then you've got the general synopsis. And that, again, would be, although it's written as in 1800, we call that 1800.
Yeah.
And then you'd say new low expected fastnet 990.
Yeah.
By 1800, Friday.
Okay, so, right, there were warnings of gales in Tyne, Dogger, German Bight, Humber, Thames, Biscay, Trafalgar, Seoul, Lundy, Fastnet, Irish Sea, Shannon, Rockall and Malin. The general synopsis at, I've forgotten already.
1800.
1800. Of course, because that's a heading, isn't it? Yeah. The general synopsis at 1800. New low expected, Fastnet 990 by 1800 Friday. And then you've got this introductory bit, which is the area forecasts for the next 24 hours. And then this is now where you're into the classic bits. What's a way of...
Well, you're doing so well.
Well,
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. But just so you know what you're getting there in these bits, so you're now into the main bit of the shipping forecast, so Viking, North Utsira, South Utsira, and then the bits that follow are, just to make sense of it for you, the wind, speed, and the direction, and the precipitation, and the visibility. So that's what you're actually giving the information on. And that helps you then to make sense of the different bits you're reading out and then to pause in the correct areas.
Yeah, because if you were to just read this, it would actually be gobbledygook, but you have to insert like the vocal punctuation that splits it into those categories, don't you?
That's it.
Tristan, I mean, you live in France, grew up in France. Do they have this en France?
Absolutely not. This is quintessentially British. I'm not sure it exists anywhere else, does it?
I do know for instance, that a version of the shipping forecast does exist on RTE in Ireland. So they have a
Do
similar.
they have the same names for the areas?
They have some names cross. They
Yeah.
share because obviously we are looking at the waters of the British Isles. So obviously some of them will be shared, and you know, obviously the Irish Sea and bits and bobs are shared, but they then have their own, and obviously they've got a fascinating different set of inshore waters that aren't shared with us at all.
Yeah.
So that is quite interesting. But you know, this all started. This is the 100th year.
Happy anniversary
of the shipping forecast as we know it in its modern format. It was, of course, something that came from a terrible tragedy. You know, there was a great storm. A ship went down, the charter ship went down in the 1800s. It was carrying gold and women and children. 450 lives were lost at sea. And essentially somebody said, well, we've got to do something about that. And that was Vice Admiral Fitzroy who started this. And that's why at a later date, that name was adopted into the shipping forecast to honour him. So...
And on the 100 years point, isn't this the longest running radio broadcast anywhere ever? I think I heard around about... I'm treating you like you're the archivist as well and the historian as well as reading it.
I wouldn't like to be accused of giving false information. It may well be. It's certainly of great standing.
It's up there, isn't it?
It's of great standing.
Yeah. And how does your rota work? Like, how often are you doing it? And also, is it a bit of a treat to get this shift? Or...
It's definitely a treat. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the first time anyone does a shipping forecast, it's this immense moment because it is such a thing, you know. People have heard it for generations. They've grown up with it. It's different things to different people, but it's very much a safe haven. It's that secure and to be trusted with. I know the first time I did it and I was shown the ropes by the very delightful Zeb Soanes.
Oh, great.
What better man than that? But I do remember vividly, I couldn't hold the sheets of paper because I was trembling so much and my knees were knocking beneath the desk. And
because of the responsibility.
It's this huge responsibility. And even if you have been a broadcaster for years, you know that doing that is something very different. And, you know, the timing is so important to get it right and to hit the certain points, because particularly the 0048 shipping forecast, because that is leading up to the close down of the network.
Yes.
So there are very set points you must hit. Your shipping forecast can be, you know, a variable length. So you never know until you print it out, maybe half an hour before you're due to read it out. And then you have to back time it all very, very carefully and mark on your page.
So you're hitting the right point.
Where you're hitting the right points to end at the right time, and then to say goodnight to the listeners who are going to leave you to join the World Service. And very importantly, to hit the national anthem, which is played precisely at 59:10 to take you to the pips, then take you to the close down. So there's an awful lot going on in your head as you're reading out these words on the page.
You're paddling furiously under the water.
How many dummy runs did you do before you did it live?
How many? Well,
you went in cold.
That would be
that would
madness.
not be the Radio 4
That
way.
would be madness. No, I mean, in terms of how many times where people actually listened to you and said you're good to go, maybe 2 or 3 times. At home, watching my clock in the kitchen, endless times, because the weight of the responsibility was just so great, you know, and to know that you're getting the intonation right, and you know, and then occasionally there's the odd thing that comes up like Norwegian basin, which doesn't happen very often, and you're sort of, hang on, I'm not familiar with that one. And very occasionally, even if you've been reading the shipping forecast for years, there's occasionally an area or a condition that doesn't happen very often, and you're just like, oh, I haven't had that for 3 years.
No.
In all impartiality, are you allowed to have a favourite area?
I think everyone has a favourite area.
What's yours?
Well, I'm going to leave you on that cliffhanger, because in my headphones, they've just faded up the music because it is nearly 0048. And so we're going to listen to the shipping forecast for real, bearing in mind everything Lisa's just told us.
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 0015 on Friday the 14th of November. There are warnings of gales in Tyne, Dogger, German Bight, Humber, Thames, Biscay, Trafalgar, Seoul, Lundy, Fastnet, Irish Sea, Shannon, Rockall and Malin. The general synopsis at 1800. New low expected Fastnet 990 by 1800 Friday. The area forecasts for the next 24 hours. Viking, north at Sierra, south at Sierra. Northwesterly, veering northeasterly, 4 to 6. Wintry showers, good, occasionally moderate. Forties, Cromarty, 4th. North, 4 or 5, veering northeast, 5 to 7. Showers, good. Tyne, Dogger, northeasterly, 4 or 5, increasing 6 or 7, occasionally gale 8 later in south. Occasional rain, moderate or good. Fisher, northwest 4 or 5, veering northeast 5 or 6. Fair, good. German Bight, northerly 4 or 5, veering northeasterly 5 to 7, occasionally gale 8 later in southwest. Occasional rain, good, occasionally poor in south. Humber, northeast 4 or 5, increasing 6 to gale 8. Rain at times, moderate or poor. Thames, easterly or southeasterly, 3 to 5, backing northeasterly, 6 to gale 8 in far north. Rain at times, moderate or good, occasionally poor. Dover, White, Portland, Plymouth. Southeast, veering southwest later, 4 to 6. Rain or thundery showers, good, occasionally poor. Biscay, southeast, 6 to gale 8, veering southwest, 4 to 6. Thundery showers, good, occasionally poor. Trafalgar, west or southwest, 5 to 7, occasionally gale 8 later. Thundery showers, good, occasionally poor. Fitzroy, cyclonic, 4 to 6, occasionally 7 later in south. Thundery showers, good, occasionally poor. Seoul, Lundy, Fastnet. Northeasterly 4 to 6, becoming cyclonic 6 to gale 8, occasionally severe gale 9 later in northwest Lundy and Fastnet. Rain or thundery showers, moderate or good, occasionally poor. Irish Sea, east 5 to 7, backing northeast 7 to severe gale 9. Rain at times, moderate or good, occasionally poor. Shannon, Rockall, Malin. Northeast 6 to gale 8, occasionally severe gale 9 later in Shannon. Rain or showers, moderate or good, occasionally poor in Shannon. Hebrides, Bailey. Northeasterly 5 to 7, becoming variable 2 to 4 later in North Bailey. Showers, good. Ferrol, Faroes. Northeast 4 to 6, becoming variable 2 to 4 later in Faroes. Wintry showers, good, occasionally moderate. Southeast Iceland, variable 2 to 4, becoming southwesterly 4 to 6 later. Mainly fair, good. On to the weather reports from coastal stations for 2300. Tyree automatic, northeast by east, 4. 15 miles, 1014, rising more slowly. Lerwick, north by west, 3. Recent precipitation, 35 miles, 1015, rising slowly. Wick automatic, west-northwest, 2. 19 miles, 1016, falling slowly. Aberdeen, northwest, 3. 19 miles, 1015, now falling. Lucas, north-northeast, 3. 22 miles, 1014, now falling. Boomer, northeast by east, 5. Slight rain, 6 miles, 1013, now falling. Bridlington, east-northeast, 4. 1009, now falling. Sandetti light vessel automatic, east-southeast, 3. 5 miles, 1006. Greenwich light vessel automatic, southeast, 4. 11 miles, 1003. St Catherine's Point automatic, east 4, 1002, falling. Jersey, southeast 4, 16 miles, 1001, falling more slowly. Channel Light Vessel Automatic, southeast 4, 5 miles 1000. Scilly Automatic, east-northeast 4, recent rain 2 miles 998, falling. Milford Haven, east by north 3, slight rain 6 miles 1003, now rising. Aberporth, east 2, slight rain 7 miles 1003, falling slowly. Valley, northeast 3, 12 miles 1005, falling slowly. Liverpool Crosby, east 3, 19 miles 1007, now falling. Valencia, east by north 3, 22 miles 1001, falling slowly. Ronaldsway, northeast by east 5, slight rain 1 mile 1007, rising slowly. Malin Head, northeast by east 7, 6 miles 1011, rising slowly. Machrihanish Automatic, east by north 6, 22 miles 1011, rising slowly. Now here's the weather forecast for the inshore waters of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, valid for the following 24 hours and issued by the Met Office at 2300 on Thursday the 13th of November. The general situation: a strong easterly flow will affect much of the United Kingdom on Friday between a ridge of high pressure to the north of Scotland and a trough of low pressure in the far south. During Saturday, the strong flow will then gradually ease as pressure builds from the north. Cape Wrath to Rattray Head, including Orkney. North 4 or 5, veering northeast 5 or 6, occasionally 4 later. Showers, perhaps wintry near Orkney. Good, occasionally moderate in north. Rattray Head to Berwick-upon-Tweed, north 4 or 5, veering northeast 5 or 6, occasionally 7 later. Showers, good. Berwick-upon-Tweed to Whitby, northeast 5 or 6, occasionally 4 at first, increasing 7 at times later. Rain or showers, moderate or good. Whitby to Gibraltar Point, northeast 4 or 5, increasing 6 or 7, occasionally gale 8 later. Rain at times, moderate or good, occasionally poor later. Gibraltar Point to North Foreland, easterly or southeasterly 3 to 5, backing northeasterly 6 to gale 8 in north, becoming cyclonic later in south. Rain at times, thundery showers later in south, moderate or good, occasionally poor. North Foreland to Selsey Bill, southeasterly 4 or 5, occasionally 6 at first, veering southwesterly later. Rain at times, thundery showers later, moderate or good, occasionally poor at first. Selsey Bill to Lyme Regis, east or southeast 3 or 4, increasing 5 or 6, then veering southwest 4 or 5 later. Rain at times, thundery showers later, moderate or good, occasionally poor at first. Lyme Regis to Land's End, including the Isles of Scilly, east 3 or 4, veering south or southeast 4 or 5, then veering southwest later. Rain at times, thundery showers later, moderate or good, occasionally poor. Land's End to St David's Head, including the Bristol Channel, easterly or northeasterly 5 to 7, increasing gale 8 for a time in northwest, veering southerly or southeasterly 4 to 6 later. Rain at times, thundery showers later, moderate or good, occasionally poor. St David's Head to Great Orme Head, including St George's Channel, east or northeast 4 or 5, increasing 6 to gale 8, occasionally severe gale 9 later. Rain at times, moderate or good, occasionally poor. Great Orme Head to the Mull of Galloway, east 5 or 6, backing northeast 6 to gale 8. Occasional rain, moderate or good, occasionally poor in south. Isle of Man, east 5 to 7, backing northeast 6 to gale 8. Rain at times, moderate or good, occasionally poor. Loch Foyle to Carlingford Loch, east 5 to 7, backing northeast 6 to gale 8. Rain at first and again later in the south, good, occasionally moderate. Mull of Galloway to Mull of Kintyre, including the Firth of Clyde and North Channel, east 5 to 7, backing northeast 6 to gale 8. Rain at first, good, occasionally moderate at first. Mull of Kintyre to Ardnamurchan Point, northeast 5 to 7, fair, good. Ardnamurchan Point to Cape Wrath. Easterly or northeasterly 5 or 6, occasionally 4 in north and increasing 7 at times in south. Showers mainly in north, good. Finally, Shetland Isles, north 5 or 6, veering northeast 3 or 4 later. Wintry showers, good, occasionally moderate. And that completes the shipping bulletin. And that also brings us to the end of our programmes here on BBC Radio 4. We'll be back at 5 o'clock in the morning with a news update, followed by Yesterday in Parliament. After the Today programme, if you fancy some escapism, we'll be off to our desert island with the photographer and New York Times bestselling writer Sally Mann. She'll be reflecting on her life and the music that has accompanied it at 9 o'clock. But that's it for now. The World Service is about to take our place for the next few hours, while Miss Marple is in action over on Radio 4 Extra. Murder at the Vicarage, starring June Whitfield, begins at the top of the hour. Do join us at some point during Friday if you can. In the meantime, this is Jane Steele wishing you a peaceful night. And if you are sleeping, do sleep well.
Welcome.
Wow, the first time we've ever played the national anthem on Newscast. Although maybe we've covered it as a news story, like when there's been something regal or stately happening, and the first time we've ever had beeps.
Pips.
So,
pips.
pips, yeah.
Pips.
Sorry, the pips, of course.
Not the beeps.
Don't crash the pips. That's
Don't
the main
crash
thing.
the pips.
So a few things, bearing in mind, you gave us the masterclass there. First of all, it's so long. You do have to be very disciplined to sort of not just get faster and faster and faster. And that is like real kind of test of your patience and stamina. And yeah, just the rhythm of it, like making it poetry as opposed to just some words.
But you do fall into that rhythm when
Yes.
you've been doing it for a while, and it does become second nature. I mean, even though it's very, very hard at first as established and terrifying and all of those things, but actually it does become second nature, and it's amazing. You do feel the poetry in it, and it is a rhythm, and it's really soothing in a way, you know, just as much as it was terrifying right at the outset, it becomes a real sort of haven for you, and that's what a lot of our listeners hear as well.
Who have you got in your head, as in your imagination, is listening to you at the time you're doing it? Or do you not do that?
I don't do a particular person. I don't really, you don't really think about that. I just think about, you know, perhaps you have this image, you know, because it goes back and it has this tradition of maybe all those souls at sea.
Yeah.
Listening in, but you know that a lot of people are just listening in their kitchens or in their bedrooms.
Well, because that's what I was getting at, because straight away I think of like a little girl in a nightdress under her duvet with like a torch, and she's staying up late to listen to it. But then I'm also thinking of like a grizzled old fisherman in a really old fishing boat, which is massively cliched and not how the industry works anymore. As if he's in like a Benjamin Britten opera. And then I'm picturing them, and then I'm picturing
actually satellite navigation, but he's still got Radio 4 on
exactly.
listening to the shipping
And then I'm
forecast,
picturing
he knows what's what.
Then I'm picturing somebody in a cottage just sat at their kitchen table with a lovely wood burner, and actually, so yeah, there's no point picturing.
I think
one
it means
person.
all of those
Exactly.
things, doesn't it? And that's what we hear a lot from people who do write in and talk to us about the shipping forecast. And we've heard a lot about it this year in particular because of the centenary. And that's what people, when we've travelled out and about and spoken and done events to do with the shipping forecast, that's what they tell us. And, you know, we've had great celebrities come in and do shipping forecasts, and we've had special programmes, and a lot of those are available on BBC Sounds.
Yes.
So that's worth a listen if you have the interest and you're interested to find out a bit more.
Yeah, and Chris Mason did a session with some of you guys. I can't remember, was it at the
Sheffield?
It was in Sheffield
at the podcast fest.
Yeah, and
yes.
he loved doing that
fun.
and has been
great
talking
fun.
about it ever since the summer. Lisa, thank you so much. I know you've got to head home because you've had a whole day's work. So has Tristan.